The Pentagon has wanted to retire the A-10 Thunderbolt for years. Every budget cycle, the same debate, the same plans. But the result is always the same. The A-10 is still flying. So why? Because this isn't just about an airplane. This is about one of the biggest dilemmas in modern warfare. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, affectionately called the Warthog by pilots, has been in service since 1977. It was built for one single purpose: close air support, flying right above friendly troops and raining fire down on the enemy. At its heart is the GAU-8 Avenger, a 30mm Gatling gun that can spit out 3,900 rounds per minute. This gun is so massive that the aircraft was essentially built around it. And that's not just a legend, the design process literally started with the gun. Then there's its incredible survivability. Twin engines mean it can keep flying even if one gets knocked out. A titanium armored cockpit protects the pilot from ground fire. In Iraq and Afghanistan, A-10s came back to base time and time again with severe damage. To ground troops, this aircraft is nothing short of an angel. So why does the Pentagon keep trying to retire it? Well, the Air Force's arguments aren't exactly baseless. First, the A-10 is an old platform. It was designed with 1970s technology. Maintenance costs keep climbing, and the Air Force wants to redirect those resources toward next-generation platforms like the F-35. Second, the A-10 is slow and flies low. In Iraq and Afghanistan, the enemy didn't have advanced air defenses, but in a battlefield packed with S-400 type systems, what's the A-10 going to do? Commanders believe A-10s would be shot down within hours in that scenario, and they're not exactly wrong. Third, the Air Force wants multi-role platforms. The F-35 can do air-to-air combat, drop precision munitions, and gather intelligence all at once. Keeping a single mission platform in the fleet is, in their view, a waste of resources. And this is where we get to the real heart of the matter. Despite all these arguments, why is the A-10 still in service? First reason, Congress. In the United States, military decisions aren't made solely in generals' offices. Congress members, especially those representing states where A-10s are based and maintained, have been blocking retirement for years. Because A-10 squadrons mean jobs, maintenance facilities, bases, supporting industries. Voting to shrink a military base in your own district can be political suicide. Second reason, pressure from the Army and Special Operations Forces. The people who love the A-10 the most are the soldiers fighting on the ground. Their commanders have testified before Congress multiple times that nothing can replace the A-10. Sure, an F-35 pilot can drop precision-guided munitions from 30,000 feet, but an A-10 pilot flies over the battlefield at 100 feet and assesses the situation with their own eyes. That low pass, the sound of the GAU-8, it creates an enormous psychological impact on the enemy. You could call it the intimidation factor, and it's something that can't be measured on any spec sheet, but is absolutely real on the battlefield. Now, let's get to the most critical point. The most shocking reason the A-10 is still flying is this: there is nothing that can truly replace it, and the Pentagon knows it. The F-35 is an extraordinary aircraft, but it was never optimized for close air support. Its cost per flight hour is several times that of the A-10. Would you risk an aircraft worth over $80 million at low altitude under heavy enemy fire? And here's an important admission: the Air Force never truly embraced the close air support mission. It's always been treated as a second-tier role in their culture. The push to retire the A-10 is really a reflection of their desire to move away from that mission entirely. But every time the same question comes up: what's your alternative? And there's no satisfactory answer. The war in Ukraine has also influenced this debate. We saw that the battlefield is still chaotic and still demands close contact. Drones have been revolutionary, yes, but during ground combat, the need for fast, reliable air support with heavy firepower hasn't gone away. On top of that, we saw how quickly precision-guided munitions get burned through. The A-10's GAU-8 uses relatively cheap ammunition and can carry tons of it. Of course, the A-10 can't fly forever. Airframes fatigue. The Air Force is pushing ahead with plans to gradually phase out the A-10 by the mid-2030s. This time, it's more likely to happen because physical airframe limits can't be overridden by politics. The A-10 debate really reflects a fundamental tension in U.S. defense policy. Should we prepare for tomorrow's war or win today's? The Air Force is looking to the future: China, the Pacific, stealth technology. The Army is looking at today: ongoing operations in the Middle East, counterterrorism in Africa, unexpected crises. reasons. At the end of the day, the A-10 staying in service can't be pinned on a single reason. Congressional politics, the demands of ground forces, the lack of a replacement, and cost realities all work together to keep this aircraft in the air. The reality of the battlefield is always more complicated than what's on a briefing slide. The A-10 Warthog may not be pretty. It may not be the fastest or the most technologically advanced, but it gets the job done. And in war, sometimes that's the only thing that matters. Let us know in the comments. Should the A-10 be retired, or should it stay in service? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. See you in the next video.